Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today's a very exciting day. I'm about to go and test ride the new Royal Enfield Shotgun 650 Twin. I've been watching this bike for a few months now and I've been waiting for it to come and hit the Royal Enfield dealers because I've had a real passion to go and see what this is about. I've had classic Bonnevilles, I've had Interceptors, I've had classic Bullets, but I've gotten to a point now where I want a bike that makes me want to go out on a Sunday afternoon and just ride. So not for the journey, not for the trip, not for the commute, a bike that will just put a smile on your face like the old Bullet did and the old Bonnevilles did and still do, but with modern reliability and something that will put a smile on your face and want to take it out just for the ride. So come along for the ride, let's see how it goes and I'll show you more.
Let's see what it feels like. Let's get out on the road. It's a nice, easy riding position. Pretty much upright. I'm 6'1" and about 16 stone. It's a nice, comfortable position. Really nice. I had the Interceptor previously to this, but the riding position was a bit cramped on the pegs. I found the pegs to be too swept back for me. As I say, I'm 6 foot, I've got quite a long inside leg, but I found the riding position on the Interceptor, the legs swept back a little bit and leant forward. With this, I'm actually sit up and beg. There's quite a nice position to be in. The dials are very easy to read. Pretty much engine wise responsive to the Interceptor, which I really did like. That engine was a really good engine, and I only had it for about 6 months, and the only reason why I got rid of it was that position. I was getting cramps in my legs, so I've been waiting for this to come out. The Super Meteor came out. It's cruiser, feet forward, not my style, but I've got to say, you know, I can flat foot this quite comfortably, easy with the bend in my leg. And it's very comfy. I am a little bit leant over forward, but not in an uncomfortable position. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. It does, however, feel a little bit smaller than I thought it would. I thought it would have that bigger bike feel. It is pretty much Interceptor size, which is not a bad thing if you're an average or shorter rider. Turns in really nice, very precise. Shame about the weather, but you know, that's the northwest for you. I've got 45 minutes to enjoy this bike. Nobody's been on it apparently. I'm the first person to ride it. I think it's only been out in the UK a couple of days. Got 57 miles on the clock. I'm not too keen on these mirrors. Some bar ends would really suit this, but these are a little bit Mickey Mousey. They can see very well out of them. There are no issues with that, but I just think they look a little bit naff on this bike. I mean, this is a stripped down bike, you know. They said it's built for customization. Oh, it turns in really nice. Gear selection's really nice. It goes into gear very crisp and easy. And I do feel a little bit, I feel a little bit sat upright, on top of the bike, which is not a bad thing, it's because I'm kind of much in control. Its vision's very, very good, and it's a nice place to be. I know what some other reviewers have been saying about it. It feels a bit like a naked sports bike, and it does. When I sit on it, it feels like a naked sports bike, even though it's in the cruiser genre. But yeah, early thoughts is very, very comfortable. Very comfortable, very, very easy. This would be a very easy first bike to learn on. And as I mentioned before, being the ex-owner of an Interceptor, I know the performance of this, and it's a cracking engine. I mean, a beautiful, beautiful engine. Smooth, precise, got enough power on there. I mean, it's not going to tear your arms off, but it's enough. I don't know why anybody, unless he was a speed demon, that would want more. Very easy to find neutral, very easy indeed, and to select first. Clutch is nice and light. As I take it easy on the bike, it's got brand new tyres, and as he mentioned, very new, and it's a little bit slippy and greasy out here today, so just make sure I give it the respect. Okay, let's put some miles. We've got out of the town a little bit. The seat is very comfortable, It's a single seat setup, and they've got the rear seat and rack removed, which is the style of this bike. I really like that, and it's like the floating seat, but it's very comfortable. Very comfortable indeed. I could see myself doing quite a few miles on this. But again, it's not a touring bike, It's got no wind protection. It is pretty much one of these bikes, as they say, that you're going to customise. It's filling a hole in that gap. If I was to make one early criticism, and it's very early criticism, these pegs stand out quite a way, just like they do on the Interceptor. And literally where my legs want to be put down, but here. I mean, it's nice and comfy when you're riding it, but when you're at a standstill and put your feet behind the pegs, if you do put your feet in front of the pegs, you feel as though the pegs are sticking out a little bit in your calves, and there's not a lot of give in them, even though they are retractable foldable pegs, there's not a lot of give. So if you was to set off quickly, you'd catch your calves on it. And that's something I didn't like about the Interceptor, and it's been carried on through to this bike. But it's just a matter of getting used to putting your feet down a little bit further out and behind the pegs. And it's a niggle. It is just a niggle. Would it put me off? No, not at all. shame about the weather. Let's pull over and have a quick walk around. So, LED headlamp, upside down forks, that's a first. There's enough walk around videos pointing out the specs of this bike. I'm not going to do one of those. You can download the specs and fact sheets. This is just to let you have a look what it's like. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice bike. It's a very nice bike. As I say, I'm moving it from the car parking space. This feels very light. Thank you. And it feels premium, you know, everything about it, the switchgear, the indicators, the paint, the finish, it feels real premium. But again, the price that Royal Enfield have putting these bikes out at is just phenomenal. High quality machines for not a lot of money compared to the rivals. That's why you've just seen so many of these on the road. So many Royal Enfields, you know, on the road. I went to the ABR last year and this stand was being run not by the salespeople but by the designers, and they was interested to get your feedback of what they'd done and why they'd done it, rather than just trying to sell you stuff. And the bikes will sell themselves. You just ride them, the price and the reliability and the quality. You know, I had an old Bullet 500. I have a couple of things. I used to love getting out on that. It put a big smile on my face, but it used to shake your teeth out. It was a proper bone cruncher, but I loved getting out on it. And it wasn't fast, and it wasn't particularly good handling bike, and it definitely wasn't refined, but it put a smile on your face. Isn't that what biking's about? If you're a biker and you need to get to work or you need to travel, then you need your comfort. And I had a Triumph Tiger, and I did quite a few long tours on there, Ireland, Scotland, Land's End to John O'Groats, And it was a travel machine for me. I enjoyed it, it was comfortable and it got me there. But if I wanted to go out for a ride on a Sunday afternoon, that was not the bike I would choose. It would be the Bullet. Just for smiles, miles for smiles. And that's what this bike's all about. This bike will put a smile on your face. It'll get you to work, it'll commute, and you could even tour on it. Putting the rack on there and maybe a couple of throw over panniers and maybe a screen. But it's, for me, that's not what this bike's about. This bike is about throwing your leg over it on a Sunday or of an evening and going down to your local bike meet and just enjoying the ride. And it certainly delivers that. Even in this wet, miserable Thursday afternoon, it still puts a smile on your face. So if you're looking for a bike under £7,000 that looks like this, that feels like this, that's got a reputation of reliability, build quality, network, servicing, and a brand, you know, this is a brand, you know. Royal Enfield's really push this brand. It's trendy. Then get yourself down to a Royal Enfield dealer and try it out for yourself.
Well, I've just got back from my test ride and as planned, it rained. I got absolutely soaked through to the skin. I got there at 2 o'clock as planned. A guy called Chris met me, he took my driver's license and filled in a form and showed me around the bike. The bike was waiting for me. So when I pulled up, first impressions, it was a little bit smaller than I thought it would have been. It was in the blue, which is not my favourite colour. I prefer the slate grey, but you know, it's the first time I've seen the bike in the flesh. So I went on the test ride. First of all, the feeling it was very, very light. It was quite a really light feeling bike. It was a nice seating position. It's got the 650 Proven engine, which pulls away very, very well and stops well. The finish was impeccable. All over the bike, I couldn't fault it. The fixtures, the fittings, the paintwork, everything felt tight. Well, it's a new bike, so it was going to feel tight. But it doesn't feel as though any corners have been cut on this bike. This bike is absolutely spot on build quality wise. And at that price, it must be a really, really tough job to do. The braking, the pickup, the position, the handling, it feels like a sports bike. I know people have referred it to a sports bike. It's not. It's classed as a semi-cruiser. But it does feel like a naked bike. It feels a really nice aggressive stance, very, very comfortable. Position was lovely, the seat was really comfortable as well. As you can see from my ride, I'll talk more in detail on that, but overall, I was very, very, very impressed for it. I love the looks of it, I love the price of it, I love the ride of it, I love the feel of it. It just felt, for me, a little bit too cramped if I'm going to go on any long distance. But if you are looking for one of these bikes and you're not 6'2" and 16 stone, or maybe you are, but you just want a lighter, more comfortable bike, then that's the bike for you. But for me, this one's not for me. If you want to go and test ride them, get yourself down to Wigan Motorcycles. Chap there called Chris, spot on, absolutely brilliant. He'll look after you. But for now, I'm going to stay with the Bonnie. Thanks for watching.